This is the plaintiff, Katie Carlson. She says she and the defendant were roommates for about 2 years. And now that she's moved out, she won't pay for the damages she caused to the apartment. The girl would have her friends over all the time. They'd smoke hookahs and they'd burn the floor and carpet. And it's her responsibility to make amends. She's got no other choice but to sue the irresponsible girl for the $657.22 it's going to cost to fix the place back up. This is the defendant, Daniela Archbold. She says she gets a call from the plaintiff 10 months after she moved out, complaining about some damages to the apartment she used to live in. Does the foolish plaintiff really think she's going to pay for damages she didn't make all of this time after she vacated the place? Nice try, sweetie pie. She's accused of having one too many hookah parties.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, these litigants were roommates and they're fighting over damage to the unit. The question, who should pay? It's the case of girls. They could be slobs too.
Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Katie Carlson?
Yes.
You are suing Daniela Archbold? Archbold. Bet you get that all your life. For $657.22 that you say she owes you in damage to an apartment that you used to share. Tell me what's going on.
Correct. Danielle and I, we were working at a local country club in Orlando, Florida, and we both needed a roommate and just connected. Things worked out. So we got an apartment together. And then about halfway through
How long did you live together?
We lived together about 2 years.
And how come you parted ways or whatever?
She graduated from college and she was moving on, doing some other stuff.
Okay, so she moves out when?
That was June of 2012 was when she moved out. But during our, Danielle and I lived together, she had a couple parties, which I didn't bother me. It's just sometimes they smoked hookah.
They smoked hookah?
Yes, hookah.
Okay, which is like, well, why don't you tell us what it is?
It's a flavored tobacco.
A flavored tobacco and some big festive bong kind of thing. And
totally legal.
It's totally legal, and I don't find the attraction at all. I'm not quite sure why it's
I don't either. But and there were some damages to our kitchen floor and the carpet in the living room.
Done by that? By the parties?
Yeah, from the hookah, because it has the coals on the top that had fallen, and it burns. So yeah, it had burned the linoleum in the kitchen because it was in there at one point, carpet in the living room. About halfway into living together, she also got a puppy, which I was fine with. I have a dog and they got along. The dog was a puppy, however, and when it was out, it chewed up the carpet, the whole entryway. The carpet's chewed up.
All right, she moves out in June and you don't come to her until when? When does she first say anything to you?
She started contacting me probably a couple months after.
And she moved out in June, so when did she start contacting you?
Probably September of last year.
That's not what your answer says.
It said 10 months later, correct?
Yeah, it doesn't say 3 or 4. And it says May, she called me. It doesn't say she called you in September. Why did you change that?
No, because she had told me I could do like a payment plan.
I'm not understanding. When did she contact you? Because you said one thing on your answer. You said May. And in here, you're saying September. So why are you changing your answer? I'm trying to understand.
I'm just saying a couple months after. I don't remember exactly the month. 2 or 10? Because my cell phone was stolen and everything was on that when she started contacting me.
So but didn't you live through it? So your cell phone wouldn't be your answer. Your brain would, right?
That's correct.
Right. When did you contact her?
Well, actually, when she was moving out, I did have her sign. I think you have a copy of an addition to the lease, which lists all of the damages that she signed. That's dated June 25th, 2012, the day that she signed off the lease. So she knew the day she moved out that I.
You had her sign something?
Yes. Yeah. There should be. It says rental sub-agreement addition to the lease. At the bottom. Looks
okay. Did you sign a document saying I did all this damage? Did you do the damage, first of all?
My dog, did a couple of the damages, but in comparison to her dog, which is an 80-pound dog, it was nothing compared.
Why? What damage did her dog do?
The dog would open the refrigerator, take all of the food out, smear it across the floor. It was a very smart dog.
Right. No, my dog opens the doors. We have the handles that are like, bars or whatever, that they're not knobs. And my dog opens the door and walks out constantly. And everyone's all impressed. I'm like, no, be impressed if the dog closes the door behind her.
Exactly.
Then be impressed, because otherwise it's just Pavlovian. And so the dog has figured out, this is actually more impressive than this. So the dog has figured out how to open the fridge.
Multiple times.
Fascinating.
Multiple times, and it would eat much of my food. I never complained about that because it's an animal and I understand.
Okay, so what can your dog do? Best friend.
Dances on its hind legs.
Sure. Okay.
My dog break dances.
Your dog doesn't break dance.
Yeah, he does. Like when you put treats near him, he like spins around, does little stuff. He really does. He break dances.
And do you, by the way?
Yes, I do.
Oh, so the dog going inside the courtroom.
If I was to document everything that she owed me, it would be
Right. But did you sign this document, sweetheart?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. And the document stated that you would have to pay $290 plus $150 plus $100?
I can't recall exactly.
Well, were the figures in the document when you signed it? Or is that something she added on?
It was a total. I believe it was a total of
What total?
$530.
So it's correct.
Correct, but I let her stay with the security deposits.
How much security deposit did you put?
The electric was $250 divided by 225, and I let her stay with that. I also paid the full month of June when I moved out, and I moved out in the middle of the month. So I told her current roommate to give the money, the half that she was going to give to me, to give to her.
Yeah, but you should have given it to her. Did she give it to you?
I don't recall. I don't think so. I'd have to speak with my roommate.
$650 minus $120 deposit is $530. So that's $530 that you agreed that you owed, and you were going to be on a payment plan. And on the payment plan, you paid what, $5? Anything? Nothing. Not even $5. You never paid anything. So what's your defense?
No, because the apartment complex has not charged her any damages. So I don't feel comfortable just dishing out money where I don't know where she got this number.
Yeah, but you understand that this is a sub-agreement that you have with her, right?
Sure.
Where she has the right to follow up on you when? When and if what? What does it say? What did you sign?
I just really wanted to get out of the lease, and it was my stupidity. I just signed the paper without.
I don't think so. It could be that, or it could be that your dog did the damage and that you owe it.
But the damage was not $530 worth of damage.
Then why'd you sign it? Both parties entering this sub-agreement understand that if for any reason repairs or monies are not done, the party remaining in said property can and will pursue all legal avenues to recover monies to have the repairs performed. Yep. How do you get by this again? What else are you suing for? Shared sofa. What's that about?
Yeah, we had gotten some sofa together. It was
For $70?
Yeah, Craigslist. I love it.
Okay.
And so when she moved out, she took it with her. We had agreed when we got it. We were.
Did you get more than a sofa, like some pests or anything, or no? Just it was a good sofa. Everything
She
was fine.
stayed with a lot of my furniture. She actually converted one of my furnitures into a window seat.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah. So she stayed with a lot of my items. I actually fully furnished the apartment completely. I had my couch there, but
But why did you leave your coffee table behind? Because you didn't want it, and then you repurposed it. That's a good thing.
I did, yeah.
But let me see.
Gonna take it to
and
the
then why did you let her take the sofa? If you feel that you have a right to half of it, why didn't you include it in your sub-agreement? And why are you suing for $657.22 instead of the $530?
Yes, and you're gonna ask that. So originally I had an outside company come in to assess the damages, but then in putting my case together, I had the apartment complex come in and do an official walkthrough, and that's where that new total comes from.
Yeah, but you can't do that. You have a sub-agreement with her to pay exactly X, so that's what you're stuck with. Who are these beautiful dogs?
My dog.
Okay. You promised me pictures of a repurposed coffee table.
Yeah,
Where is it?
It was on the top. It was the first picture.
There we go. Finally finished my coffee table to window ottoman. Crappy old coffee table, pretty window seat. That's you? You put that on your... Absolutely. I think you did a fabulous job.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Well, that's my amusement for the day. In the meantime, $530 verdict for the plaintiff plus your court costs. That's my judgment.
Thank you.
So the defendant does the damages and she pays for them. So step on in here and the plaintiff wins this case. What's your feeling on that?
I respect the judge's decision.
Yeah.
Of course, I think differently, but that's
Like,
life.
what do you think?
I think it's unfair because I don't think I owed that amount, but I'm not gonna.
Did you know
say
there were
contrary.
damages that you left behind?
There was small ones. I did understand that, but
Did all that hookah smoking go on in there?
It's not
What
me,
is
it's
that?
a lot of my friends that it's in their culture, but probably twice.
Okay. All right. You head right down this way and come on in here and tell me, satisfied with what you got out of this?
Yeah, I think the judge was fair. There were damages. I'm going to be responsible for them, and
Why'd you wait so long to pursue her for the damages in court?
because I considered her a friend. I tried to give her a chance to make payments, $50 here, anything. And so finally, a year later, I said, I've just got to take legal action.
Is she still a friend?
I would like to hope so. I mean, we lived together for 2 years. You know, she was a good friend then, so hopefully we can maybe still be friends.
Over to Harvey.
If you have a roommate, resolve the financial issues before you leave the unit.